Okay guys, on the channel I don't want to just cover how to throw techniques, I want to cover the sport in general. And today we're looking at something which I've thought many times about MMA, particularly in the UFC, where it's kind of like, you know what? The fighters are almost rewarded for cheating. Now I'll go on to explain exactly what that means, but I caught some UFC footage of two ladies fighting, and I'll show you the clip right now.
Sí, parece que va a perder la posición, va a perder la posición Vanessa, y está agarrando el guante, le está agarrando el guante, se queja con el...
You can easily hear right from the get-go that one of the athletes is saying, she's hooking my glove, she's hooking my glove. And the ref, whether he doesn't hear it or doesn't do anything about it, doesn't really matter because it ends up leading to the armbar. And when somebody manages to get away with that in all other sports, if you do something which is blatantly against the rules, you're not going to be able to win, or you will have points deducted or something. But because the fight actually finishes, it's very rare, or almost never happens, where they go back and they go, oh, okay, yeah, there was cheating, we're going to call that a no contest. And because in my mind of weight cuts, people taking advantage of weight cuts, not making weight, cheating. Fence grabbing, cheating. Hooking gloves, cheating. There's so many elements which you can exploit. And when not so much the UFC, because a lot of times it's actually the athletic commissions, but if the UFC backs them up and really says, look guys, we got to get on top of this, changes will come. So Conor McGregor's coach is the latest person to say that rule changes need to happen. And this controversy, which just went down with the glove hook, is unacceptable. So John Kavanagh, the longtime coach of UFC superstar Conor McGregor, has called for sweeping changes to address ongoing controversies in the sport. His proposal comes in the wake of recent high-profile incidents that have reignited debates about rule enforcement and fair play. He goes on to say, how often do you see a point deducted for a clear rule break, like a fence grab or a glove grab? He says maybe 1 in every 1,000 times, if that. And I would go and agree that there's a lot that happens where people are not punished, and it needs to happen more so in my mind in the weight cutting. If I can go into a fight and have a weight advantage over my opponent, that gives me so much more of an advantage because I'm a little bigger, but more so I didn't have to go through the strain of dropping weight. I didn't have to go through the weight cut. And all that happens is sometimes these guys get a minor purse deduction, and you might go, oh, well, it was 25% or something. But what people aren't remembering is it's all about climbing in the UFC. So if you win a couple fights, but you have 25% of your purse deducted, but you went from 20 grand to 25 grand, to 40 grand, to 60 grand. You're gonna make those jumps so much more because when you have losses, you don't get those bumps. So the cheating is, yes, very much enforced, and scolding the person in there saying like, don't do that next time, that's gonna accomplish nothing. Fighters will continue to exploit the rules, and these incidents, very often do not result in official penalties at the time, prompting questions about the consistency of rule enforcement, especially in high-profile matches. Even Joe Rogan, it says here, highlighted McGregor's controversial moves during the live broadcast, adding fuel to the ongoing debate. Yeah, it's just, it's ridiculous in my mind. And when you have something like that happening, they should go back and say, look, that was cheating. Yes, you tapped her out, but you cheated. No contest. Punishment. If you miss weight, punishment. You want to fight, but you don't want to make weight? Okay, you get something like 50% of your purse. There's no win bonus. Your entire win bonus goes to your opponent. That should just go without saying. So I'm curious to see what you guys think. You know, in the moment, when you have the ability to hook somebody's glove and you know you're not going to get scolded or have any massive repercussions, yeah, of course you're going to go for it. But I'm curious to hear what you guys think. What should the penalties be for people who are not going to follow the rules? Should probably be more than a gentle don't do that again, and then you're back in for the next fight and all is forgiven, all is forgotten. So yeah, I just wanted to cover this because I think it is something which needs to be touched on. I think, like many sports, the rule set, the rules, the judges, they're always evolving. And MMA is a relatively young sport, so there's lots for them to fix, there's lots for them to get on top of, but the sooner they can do this, the better, because it's people's livelihood. It's their heart and soul going into competing. There's dangers involved, and there are so many ways that you can cheat. Like, I highlighted 3 today, but if you want to go deep into it, what if I walk out? And I had somebody tell me this once. He was an older boxer, and he said, Gabriel, you want to win your next fight? I'm like, yeah, I want to win my next fight. He's like, do what I used to do. Walk out and punch the guy right in the groin as hard as you can. Or in my instance, he was saying, kick the guy in the groin as hard as you can. Yeah, I could do that. If I have the accuracy to put my foot up here, I have the accuracy to find the groin. He said, they're only going to give you a warning, and then you can get, that once the guy gets back up, now you have to fight, but you're going to have a clear advantage. Very true. I could do that. I don't, but I could. So, yes, there needs to be more severe penalties put on fighters who break the rules, and until that happens, people are going to keep cheating, they're going to keep exploiting the system, and it's very disappointing for the people who actually follow the rules.